What's going on, you guys? My name is Morgan and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about genders and dogs. This goes especially for dachshunds because dachshund genders are very different. They don't all have the same personality. Dachshunds can be very weird. Females and males are very different. They have very different personalities. I have quite a few boys, but I have even more girls. But for obvious reasons, I do breed dachshunds, so having more girls is obvious, but you always have your favorite genders and your favorite dogs. Even though some people say you're not allowed to have favorites, I do to an extent that even though they're not treated differently, they are my favorites for certain reasons or different reasonings or for different personality traits. But this is going to be a two-part video. First, we're going to talk about the difference between male and females in dachshunds, and then we're going to talk about my favorite genders of dogs, which will be a separate video. So in dogs, females are typically more independent. Everybody says they hate males because of the marking of their territory, and they think females are the sweetest, which actually is not true. Females are the most independent and actually like to be left alone the most compared to males. Now, males aren't as independent as females are. Males more like to be up your butt at all times. Males are definitely the up your butt gender. They like to be anywhere that you are. They will follow you everywhere. I mean, I have the males that will follow me everywhere compared to the females. The females are more independent. The males are more like to be up your butt. The females like to be more independent. I mean, I have some of the males that will follow me everywhere, and the females just leave me alone and look at me like I'm absolutely crazy and insane and want nothing to do with me, which that is pretty normal in terms of genders of the dogs. Females are more independent. Now, everybody says females are sweeter, or the males you have to deal with the marking of the territory. So just a little information about the marking of the territory. Most of the time, males only mark their territory when there is an unspayed female around. When you have spayed females, most of the time they will not mark their territory. You won't have to deal with the lifting of the leg. Right now, at this very moment, I actually don't have to deal with the lifting of the leg in terms of marking territory. Now, I mean, with mine, I used to have to deal with the marking of the territory. Now, my boys do still typically lift their legs, but in terms of lifting their legs, it is because they are peeing on a puppy pad. Now, on normal basis, when they come to marking their territories that are not on the puppy pad, they will do it outside, which that's okay. Now, inside is the problem, and most of the time, I usually don't have to deal with it inside. The biggest problem I had was with Chubby, and I actually put a belly band on him, and that fixed that problem for the most part. We haven't had to deal with marking of the territory since then, not with any of my boys that isn't on the puppy. Now, on an active standard, females have always tended to be more active than males, at least in my group. I mean, my males tend to be more of the lazy type and like to sleep around rather than being super duper active. Now, on the terms of being active, my females are a lot more active than my males. My males tend to sleep a lot more. Mr. Marvel and Brecken probably tend to sleep the most. Well, I don't know who my most active female is because there are quite a few of them. Moxie is absolutely crazy. She's still a puppy. But in terms of puppy standards, she's older than Celebrimbor, and Celebrimbor tends to sleep a lot. So I guess it's kind of, I mean, the genders, they are different. They aren't as active. Oh, the genders do tend to be very, very different from one another. The males are typically a lot lazier, a lot less independent than the females. My males follow me around the most, while the females are more independent and like to be alone. My males are bigger cuddlers, especially like Fuzzy and Zeus. They are big cuddlers. But, I mean, then again, Rue is a cuddler, but Mia is right now because she's pregnant. But, like, Rosemary and Ruby and Hershey and a lot of my females kind of just like to be left alone. I mean, they don't need me as much as the males do. I mean, which is very, very typical. But males are always sweeter than the females. I can take my males anywhere, and I know they'd be fine. Now, some of the females, like Hershey, who likes to bark a lot, she can be a bit of a pain, and she barks a lot. I don't take her everywhere compared to Fuzzy, who is very, very easygoing and very well mannered. But I think again, sometimes it just depends. But the females and the males do have very different genders and very different personalities. But this goes for every dog. Their genders are very different. Their personalities are very different depending on their gender. But the males are more, if you're wanting an easygoing dog, I'd say the males are basically your better choice compared to the females. The females are not the easier going. They're not the easier breed. They're not the easier gender. I do hate that stigma that the females are the best. The females are easier. No, that is just a stigma that females are easier. That is not the way it actually is as a breeder. The males are always the easiest to handle, the easiest to train, the easiest to deal with compared to the females who can be very, very temperamental. But if you're wanting one that is very independent, the females are the ones to go with. But if you're wanting one that's more cuddly and more just want to be with you, the males are the ones to go with. But it also depends on what you want. But I don't like the stigma around that the females are always the better choice to go with because they are females. That is not true. Females are the biggest pain in the butt compared to the males. I do like my males, but I'll talk about that in the next video. But there's just a stigma that males are horrible and that males are harder. But that is not true. I do try to steer people away from that believe that, because that is not true. That is very, very false. But anyways, there's another part to this video on which gender I prefer in terms of dogs. So thank you guys so much for watching. What gender do you prefer? What is something you heard about the opposite gender that made you get the gender you have currently? What is something you believe? Leave a comment down below and let me know. We'll probably talk over it if you leave a comment down below, because it's something I'd like to have a conversation over and clear up any stigma that is true and not true in terms of dogs. Now, what I say is not gospel in any way. This is what I've learned and dealt with for the last 5 years. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And as usual, you guys, I'll say see you guys next time in the next video. See you guys later.